Alright, I'm going to discuss Impact for a minute here just briefly because there's a lot that I need to get off my chest about Final Resolution. So let's do it. First of all, much better show this week. The last 3 weeks of Impact have been pretty lackluster. It just felt like they were on autopilot or something, and it was really discouraging to me. But this show finally made me feel a little bit better about where they're going. It was one of the better Impacts recently, so I won't need to rant too much this week. So I'm just going to run through the good and bad stuff really quick here. Kurt Angle cut an awesome promo on Jeff Jarrett. I like this feud a lot, and his match with Rhino probably has the best build-up out of anything on the pay-per-view. Taylor, Roxy, and the Beautiful People were added to the ODB Charmel match, so now it's entirely possible that Charmel might not even be in the match at all, thank God. It's nice to see that the writers came to their senses on that one. They managed to hype up every match on the pay-per-view. I still don't like every match on the pay-per-view, but they did manage to hype them all. Also, it seems like they've been mentioning Christopher Daniels a lot lately. Now, is this a tease for his return? Are they bringing him back? God, I hope so. Like I said last week, they're not using Curryman for anything right now anyway, so why the hell not? As for the bad stuff, the Sarah Palin thing. Look, I had no problem with TNA making overtures to Sarah Palin as long as they kept it off the TV show. It was a publicity stunt. It got them a lot of mainstream press. I can understand why they did it. But when you bring in some random Palin impersonator on the show, it's like you're taking a page right out of the WWE's playbook. And I watch TNA because you're supposed to be different from those guys. And to add insult to injury, you make it like the Beautiful People actually believe it's the real Sarah Palin, and garbage like that is why so much of the mainstream media looks down their nose at pro wrestling, because all it does is insult the intelligence of the fans. Don't do that shit again. Second, the mixed tag match. Remember what I said in the last video about Christy Hemme not being a believable opponent for Awesome Kong? Well, this match just proved my point. It's a terrible matchup. Kong selling for Christy Hemme's offense looks completely fake. And the fact that they had Christy actually pin Kong makes me sick. But at least they sold it like the only reason she got the pin at all was because of AJ's help, and pointed out that Christy won't have AJ to help her this Sunday. And plus, I really think that mixed tag matches on Impact in general need to stop, because Spike TV still has the no man on woman violence rule. And as long as that rule is in effect, then everybody knows the women can attack the men, but the men can't attack the women. You've made that known on the show. Okay? So Awesome Kong can attack AJ all she wants, but when AJ tries to fire back, the referee stops him because men can't attack women on Impact. So the whole thing is retarded. Unless the men are allowed to attack the women, then I don't want to see any more of these mixed tag matches on Impact, because they always have to book around that rule, which always ends up negatively affecting the match. Next, the Abyss beer money skits were awful. Absolutely dumb as hell. I mean, seriously, are they trying to kill Abyss's character? Abyss is supposed to be a violent, destructive psychopath that makes his opponents shit their pants when he comes to the ring, but they make him look like some gullible 5-year-old. That doesn't make me want to see Abyss and Matt Morgan win the tag team titles. It makes me think Abyss is a fucking moron. And also, still too much backstage stuff. The main event got less than 8 minutes, and the show actually ended 4 minutes early. 4 minutes early? What the hell is that? You do not end the show at 10:56, ever. You ended at 10:59 and 59 seconds. What's the point of having 2 hours if you're not going to use the whole 2 hours? But, look, anyway, I know I spent a lot more time on the bad stuff again just now, but, look, this was still an enjoyable show despite that stuff, alright? And now, we've reached the point of the video where I usually run down the pay-per-view and tell you guys why you should order it. But I cannot honestly do that this month, because the fact of the matter is that from top to bottom, Final Resolution has got to be one of the weakest pay-per-view cards TNA has had since I can remember, for a lot of reasons that I don't have time to get into. So, instead of telling you guys why you should order this pay-per-view, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to go back to the fantasy booking arena and give you guys my thoughts as a fan on how TNA could salvage this pay-per-view. So let's do this. The show starts with a clip of the Main Event Mafia arriving at the building earlier in the day. When they get out of their limo, Charmel, she hobbles out of the limo, her ankle's bandaged up, she's on crutches. She says she injured herself in a training accident and she won't be able to compete tonight. But she talked to Tracy Brooks and came up with a replacement. The first match of the pay-per-view is Feast or Fired, and this time the briefcases are opened immediately after the match. Sanjay Dutt wins the X Division title shot, Chris Sabin wins the tag team title shot, Alex Shelley wins the world title shot, and Curryman gets the pink slip, so he gets fired. But the real story of this match is that the Motor City Machine Guns were focusing their offense on the other frontline guys. Not so much that it's really obvious, but enough so that the other members were really hurting after the match. More on that later. Then we have the second match. It's the first women's match of the night. The babyfaces come out ready to go. Then the beautiful people with Sharmell, who brings out Raisha Saeed as her replacement. The babyfaces win the match clean, pinning Velvet Sky. Afterward, Sharmell tosses her crutches to Saeed and Angelina, showing that she was just faking the injury. They nail the faces with the crutches and beat them down. ODB gets the worst of it, so she's out cold. Next, the X Division title match. Eric Young beats Bashir clean this time, but before he can celebrate, Sanjay Dutt storms the ring, low blows him, destroys him with a chair, cashes in his title shot and wins the belt, new X Division champion Sanjay Dutt. Next, the Knockouts title match. Before the bell rings, Saeed and Raka Khan jump Christy Hemme from behind as Kong just watches and laughs on the ramp. The announcers play it like Christy is so far beneath Kong's notice that Kong thinks Christy isn't even worth her time. Finally, the beatdown ends and the match starts with Christy just lying there, unconscious. Kong puts one foot on her chest and gets the pin. Then Taylor and Roxy hit the ring and attack the heels. Tracy Brooks comes out and makes an impromptu 6-woman tag match. So Taylor and Roxy work while Christy recovers outside the ring. Eventually they get overpowered by the 3-on-2, plus they're both selling injuries from earlier. And eventually Christy recovers and tags herself in, but she's still selling the beatdown and gets pinned after an awesome bomb. Next, tag title match. Nothing fancy here, no stupid overbooking. They have the match, beer money win. Kurt Angle and Rhino. This is booked the same way Angle and Abyss at Turning Point was booked. It's really competitive, so Rhino looks strong, but Angle goes over clean just like last month. Then we have a backstage segment where Team 3D have been attacked by somebody. They're both out cold, they can't wrestle, they get taken away in an ambulance. So now AJ and Joe need to find 2 new partners and fast. The Motor City Machine Guns come up to them. They say, look, we know we've had a lot of differences lately, but the bottom line is you guys need some partners. We're fresh and ready to go, and you don't have too many options right now. So since all the other frontline members are hurting from their matches, Joe and AJ agree. 8-man tag main event for the World Championship. The match ends with a clean finish when Alex Shelley pins Sting. So AJ Styles is the new World Champion. The next Thursday night on Impact, the frontline guys are in the ring. AJ's cutting a promo when the Guns interrupt him. Shelley says that they don't think it's fair that he got the pin at Final Resolution, but AJ is now the World Champion. At Genesis, they capture the tag team titles, but tonight he's going to use his Feast or Fire title shot to challenge AJ Styles for the TNA World Championship. So the main event of the Impact show is AJ and Shelley for the world title with Sabin, Joe, and Rhino all at ringside. The match goes over 15 minutes, it's super competitive, but AJ eventually wins clean. After the match, Team 3D show up, they run down the ramp and attack Sabin. They throw Sabin into the ring, they tell AJ that the Guns were the ones who attacked them at the pay-per-view. So everyone starts arguing when all of a sudden the main event Mafia run down for a sneak attack. They start brawling with all the baby faces while Sabin and Shelley roll out of the ring. But then, a man in a black trench coat and a Sting mask jumps out of the crowd with 3 baseball bats. He tosses one bat to Sabin, one bat to Shelley, and the 3 of them go to town on the main event Mafia, completely laying them out. But then, they attack 3D, Joe, AJ, and Rhino. So finally, everybody's down with the Guns and this mystery man standing tall over all these lifeless bodies in the ring. And then he takes off his Sting mask. It's the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. And that's where the show fades to black. That's how I'd book this right now. Enjoy Final Resolution, you guys. TNA, don't let me down.